The electric guitar made its way into recording studios in the 1930s. In fact, the very first electric guitar recording in a studio was done in 1938. And since then, the electric guitar sound has graced many songs and several hits that you and I know very well. The guitar has become the most popular musical instrument, and several great musicians keep inspiring young musicians to pick up the instrument. Electric guitar greats like George Benson, Eddie Van Halen, Pat Metheny, our own King Sunny Ade, Oliver De Coque, and Sir Victor Owaifo will always continue to inspire us to make great music with the electric guitar. Today on Making Music with Akurios, I'm going to be showing you some electric guitar recording techniques. I'll also be showing you how I record my own electric guitars for my own projects. And I'll be showing you how to achieve a wider stereo image with your electric guitars while recording. Today it's all about recording electric guitars, and that's what's coming up. Hey, I'm Akurios, and you're welcome to this week's episode of Making Music with Akurios, where we talk about music production, recording, any kind of recording, and everything that has to do with making music. If this is the first time you're seeing me and you're interested in any of that, then go ahead and tap that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you tap the notifications bell so that you're notified every single time there's new content on this channel. Today we're talking about recording electric guitars, and I'll be showing you my own method, no holds barred. I'm not going to conceal anything. I'm just going to give it to you exactly the way I do it. So let's get right into it. So first of all, let's start with my recording chain. Now, my guitar is split into two parts by that radial right there. There's a radial DI box right here sitting on top of the amp. Now, that gives me the opportunity to have one line going directly to my audio interface or to my recording console and then to the audio interface, and then the other channel going into this amp right there, the Pearl SG032 combo amp, which has a reverb, a spring reverb on it. So I'm recording both the DI signal, that's the direct injection signal, on my mixer, and the amp signal via this SM57 Shure SM57 microphone sitting right in front of the cone. Now I like it close to the edge, but not too close. All right, not directly at the edge of the cone, but somewhere around the middle, between the very center and the edge of the cone. That's where I like it. Now if you can see the cone, you may not be able to see the cone very clearly here, but it's close to the edge, but not directly on the edge, pointing at the edge. Now, the closer to the center you are, the brighter the guitar sound you're going to get. So I don't usually like it to be too bright, so I have it closer to the edge than the center of the cone, of the speaker cone. Okay, so I have my, it's a usual regular 3-band EQ. You have the treble, the middle, and the bass. I set that, the way I want it, and then the volume or the gain is also set in a way that gives me enough signal without any form of distortion. And then if I decide to record some reverb, some of the spring reverb, I just turn that knob right there a little to the right, so it gives me some spring reverb. And now on the recording console, I have my electric guitars coming in through channels 1 and 2, and I have the input gain set to around 9 o'clock-ish. And then I have the DI coming in on channel 1 and the amp is coming in on channel 2. And down here, the gain is set to around -10. So I have enough signal coming from the Yamaha O2R to the Focusrite Scarlett 8920 version 2. Now I have my electric guitars coming in on channel 3 and channel 4. The DI is on channel 3 and the amp is on channel 4, and I have the gain set to around 12 o'clock for both. All right, so I have here 4 audio tracks, one guitar DI left, one guitar amp left, one guitar DI right, and guitar amp right. So remember, I'm taking signals from both the DI from my recording console and the amp signal from the guitar combo amp. So that's why I have 4 channels, both left and right. So whenever I'm about to record, I need to arm both channels, both the DI and the amp channels, to make sure that I capture both signals. Now the DI is coming in at input 3 and the amp signal is coming in at input 4. One of the things I need to drop here is this. Now when you're recording stereo, so it's the same passage, but you're doing 2 takes, one for the left and one for the right. What I like to do is use a different pick for both takes. Now this helps to differentiate both channels a little more, so they sound a little different, a little more. So I could use a thicker pick for one pass, and then for the next take I would use a thinner guitar pick for that. Now let's record from this point right here. All right, so we just recorded the left side. Now we're going to record the right side. So it's the same passage. All we need to do is record the right side, and then we're going to, remember, I'm going to use a different pick this time around to differentiate the sound. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the pickup pattern on the guitar, okay, to give me a different, slightly different sound on the guitar from the guitar itself, so that it can help with that stereo image. Okay, so let's record now. All right, so we have both channels now, both the left side and the right side. So we're going to listen to how that sounds. We're going to just solo all of them, all 4 of them. But before that, I'm going to just pan the left to the left, and then the right, the channels I named right, to the right. So let's have a listen. So you can hear that there's a distinct, clear stereo image. The left is on the left side, the right is on the right side, and that's why you can hear that it's stereo. Okay, so if you don't record it with that at the back of your mind, you're not going to achieve a stereo sound. So if we decide to solo just the left side, the DI left and the amp left, so, and then we solo the DI and amp right. So that's how I record my electric guitars. Now, having done that, I usually don't just leave them like that. Now, the amp signal, I could leave it just like this and maybe apply some little processing here and there. But the DI signal, I would, put up some, maybe an amp, a virtual amp, amplitude 4. Let's just choose this amp here, and then we're gonna have it sounding like that. That's for that, having a lot of reverb. Okay, so let's copy that to the second DI channel. Okay, that's the one on the right side. But let's use a different amp. That's another thing. So you'd use a different amp for the right side. So there's a difference in the performance, there's a difference in the guitar itself, the sound of the guitar itself, and then you want a different amp on both sides. Okay, so we could decide to choose maybe an amp peg, or let's stick with the amplitude clean, and let's go to vintage B here. Remember, everything has to be done in the context of the mix. Make sure you're listening to the entire mix as you're making your mix decisions and even your production decisions. As you're recording, make sure you're recording something that is going to work for the mix, not against it. Okay? All right, so let's disable the amps now and see. So you can hear that the amps introduce some heft, some umph to the sound of the DI channels. All right, so that's how I record my electric guitars when I need to record both the DI and the amp signals. And remember the signal chain. Remember that your gain staging has to be proper. Make sure there's no distortion. You're not recording any distortion. And all your knobs are set right. And the signal is as clean as possible. When recording, you need clean signals because you need clean signals to then process or apply whatever processing that you want to apply after the facts. So after recording all my takes, I then blend the DI signal with the amp signal to taste. The combination of both signals is what is going to give me my final electric guitar sound. I also need to mention here that you don't have to have an elaborate setup like this. You could have just an audio interface sitting on your desk, and all you need to do is plug in your electric guitar to one of the inputs on your audio interface and record. So try out these electric guitar recording techniques in your next project. Experiment, try out whatever you like. It doesn't have to be this exact same way that I've just shown you, and let me hear what you come up with. Shoot me an email, send me a comment, a message, or drop a comment on the comment section on this video, either here on YouTube or on Facebook, and I'll be glad to get back to you. So if that was helpful, if you found any value in this, go ahead and tap the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting for. Tap that subscribe button and tap the notifications bell also so that you're notified every time there's new content on this channel. Until next time when we see again on Making Music with Akurios, I'm Akurios and I'm out.